We've never seen what's happened with Carson Wentz. We've never seen somebody who, in the years where you have to make the decision of picking up the fifth-year option or bestowing the long-term contract upon the player, we've never seen a player ball out to the point where he was a front runner for the most valuable player in the NFL and created a situation where the team was a 1 seed from which they were able to eventually win the Super Bowl after the kid in Carson Wentz gets hurt, blows out his knee in one of the many different ways that he was balling out, put his body on the line quite a bit, making great throws, great decisions, would throw his body around. We called it toughness. Blew his knee out right up the road in the L.A. Coliseum. Head first in the end zone. Here comes Aaron Donald, and then a little Malachi crunch. He gets hurt. But the Eagles had the 1 seed and made the Super Bowl with Nick Foles doing Nick Foles things. So the Eagles decide to give this kid the long-term contract after he comes back and he doesn't finish the season again. But they decide to do the smart thing, and we were lauding Howie Roseman and the Eagles for doing this because we see what happens when you don't go early and give the kid money. Early, you wind up doing what the Cowboys are doing with Dak. Franchise tag, franchise tag, franchise. That's very expensive. So you're doing the smart thing. Sign him early. We've never seen somebody earn the respect and the confidence of management to get the 9-figure contract in this era of we're not going to give it to you right on draft day. We need to see something first before we give it to you. We've never seen that contract bestowed on somebody where we all believe, for the most part, it's warranted, and have that player thoroughly disintegrate. We've never seen that. Carson Wentz, after last night's game, lost to the Seahawks. 15 interceptions, 46 sacks taken, and 95 off-target incompletions. And I'm assuming that's the NFL version of unforced errors in tennis. Okay? It's not like a on-target and ball not caught, or on-target and ball is broken up. Like an off-target incompletion, I'm assuming. Because, again, I'm an old-gen stat guy, not a next-gen stat guy very much. He leads the NFL in all 3 of those categories. Number of times that we saw Brian Griese and Louis Riddick, who I think do a great job last night during the broadcast, say, that guy was open, that guy was open. This is the scheme. You should know this guy's open. And it's not just Wentz, the offensive line. Jason Kelce he's a top-notch player. Didn't know the snap count. Boston Scott's in the game. They do set up a screen for him. He's blocking. So there's Wentz with all of his blockers upfield, letting the rush come in. And there's little Boston Scott, who's like 4'0". He's like the Rudy of the Eagles. And he's in there trying to find someone to block. And I'm like, no, dude, you're supposed to be on the other side of these blockers. I'm supposed to throw to you. And Wentz looks like he's awful. It's not just Wentz, but a lot of it is Wentz. And the only rational explanation why they are continuing to bang their heads against the same brick wall is because of the money. That's it. That's got to be it. Because 2022, according to all the capologists, you read about this, 2022 is the first opportunity in which the Eagles could part ways and it wouldn't cost them the proverbial arm and a leg in cap money, dead cap money. That's what you're reading about. That's what you're seeing. And when Howie Roseman made the smart move to do it early, nobody obviously saw a pandemic coming in which the cap would actually shrink, potentially, or not grow to the same level that we're expecting year in and year out. It's a total perfect storm of a disaster. And the only reason why they are not turning to Jalen Hurts with regularity is because of the money. And to me, I will just say this. You're a half game out of first place. That's not the reason to keep banging your head against the same wall with Wentz. Because if Wentz was in, say, the Mitchell Trubisky spot, if this disintegration had happened before the fifth-year option or had happened just as you decided not to pick up the fifth-year option, a la Bucks with Jameis, a la Titans with Mariota, if this was that sense of timing, you'd be seeing Hurts right now. You drafted him in the second round, and the kid has been through the crucible. As I said last week, I feel for him in the manner that he was the veteran in the face of his program in college, and his championship head coach goes with the young gun in the middle of a championship game and says, thanks for the memories. And now he's drafted by a franchise, by a championship coach who refuses to move on from the veteran of his program when everything screams, let's see what the young gun can do. And Hurts is now the young gun, and he can't get more than just a rep here and a rep there and come on out. Let's put Wentz back in there in third and long so we can hold on for it forever. And Jamal Adams is going to come across some tight end who doesn't see him coming because he's all sorts of crazy. You don't know where he's coming from, and boom, Wentz gets sacked again. So to me, I'm thinking here, look, the worst case scenario would be Hurts comes in, carries the day, he becomes Nick Foles, and now you got an issue where, all right, our backup is going to cost us all this money? I mean, we saw Ryan Fitzpatrick benched for Tua. He's back in 2 weeks. I mean, you saw over and over again how Wentz in 2 straight years, the backup was coming in.
Right.
Honestly, is he that bad? Is Hurts that unusable? Is he that unusable? Because this kid has the it factor that we keep talking about everybody else. This kid has had a ton of adversity hit him. Let's see him. My God. He delivered the first reception to Alshon Jeffrey of the year last night. Come on out. I honestly don't get it. I don't get it. And the season's still alive, though. And we'll talk about it with Ron Jaworski, Jaws. We booked him last week. We saw this thing coming. So Ron will join us.
Yeah, Rich, you talk about the numbers all the time. So his cap hit, if he were to be released after this year, is $34.6 million. A dead cap of $59 million because his guaranteed salary is $25 million. His 2021 salary is already guaranteed. It got guaranteed way back in March.
Right.
So he's on the books for a hefty amount.
Like I've said, we've never seen what we're seeing unfold. Honestly, we've seen draft picks turn into busts. And I'm talking about over the last 10 years when they changed the slotting and they changed the whole, we'll give you a ton of money, but you got to prove it first, from the we'll give you a ton of money just because you proved it on Saturdays in the SEC. Right? We've never seen what we're seeing right now. The numbers on the screen, it's just like he has fallen off a cliff. I mean, the most famous cracked item from Philadelphia, this side of the Liberty Bell. You know, used to ring. Now it's cracked. I honestly, the passer rating, again, I don't have slide rules to tell you what a passer rating is, but it's down by 25 points. I mean, that's all you need to know. His touchdown interception ratio is dreadful. Honestly, if this had nothing to do with money, we'd see Jalen Hurts right now. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.